before Silicon Valley, before Wall Street, before the Fortune 500. There was a single corporation that reshaped the American economy from the inside out. It didn't flaunt its power. It didn't plaster its name across skyscrapers. It didn't brag, boast, or broadcast its dominance. Instead, it wrapped itself quietly around the arteries of the nation. Pipelines, railroads, refineries, shipping lanes, until the American economy beat to its rhythm. By the time people realized what had happened, the takeover was already complete, and at the center of it all stood a man who rarely raised his voice. A man who lived with religious discipline, wrote numbers with near-sacred precision, and wielded power with a calm, almost chilling efficiency. John D. Rockefeller, the man behind Standard Oil, the corporation that quietly took over America, the architect of a system that would become the blueprint for modern corporate power. Before Rockefeller's shadow fell, before Standard Oil became the silent colossus, America's oil fields weren't an industry. They were a blind rush toward ruin. Oil struck Titusville, Pennsylvania, 1859. The nation smelled riches and charged. Speculators, farmers, drifters flooded in. They clawed earth with picks, shovels, makeshift drills, bare hands when tools failed. Derricks jutted like broken bones from hillsides. Refineries rose as rickety sheds nailed in haste. Wagons churned mud into black slurry, crude sloshing, seeping, staining roads forever. This wasn't progress. This was fever. Kerosene lit the nation's nights, from mansion parlors to frontier shacks, steady flame pushing back darkness. But under that glow, something waited, unstable, hungry. Unregulated stills produced kerosene laced with gasoline, naphtha, explosive ghosts craving a spark. Week after week, newspapers tallied the toll. Homes vanishing in fireballs, families erased in an instant, blocks charred because a cheap barrel from a fly-by-night operator saved pennies. Quality lurched wildly. Safety was illusion. Buy kerosene in 1865, and you bought more than light. You bought a gamble with fire, and the dice rolled unseen until the flame leaped. Oil prices didn't rise and fall. They convulsed. Monday, a barrel might command $8. Tuesday, it could collapse to $1.35. By Friday, it might claw its way back to $10 or vanish entirely. No rhythm, no reason, no warning. Refineries flared into existence and guttered out just as fast. The average small operator endured about as long as a struck match. A single jolt, oversupply, a choked rail line, one more fire, could erase half the producers in a county overnight. And the rules? There were none. A barrel leaked dry en route, lost forever. A railroad doubled rates on a whim, adapt or die. A rival flooded the market and shattered your margins. Stand and watch your world burn. Every day carried the same quiet threat. Ruin could arrive before noon. Transport was the hidden chokehold. Crude, thick, heavy, flammable, demanded rails. Railroads knew the leverage. Rates shifted daily, sometimes hourly. Executives favored in secret. Deals struck in dim rooms. Bribes passed like whispers. They controlled the vein. They knew the truth. Master the rails, master oil. But who would claim that mastery? The question lingered in coal smoke, unanswered. Yet, by 1865, the fields bore every scar of collapse. Refineries bleeding each other dry. No standards. Prices mocking reason. Products that killed. Transport that betrayed. Waste on a scale almost deliberate. No leader. No plan. Opportunity drowned in disorder. It was Wild West, but bullets were invisible. Casualties tallied in red ink. Into that void stepped a man without shout or spectacle. While others chased gold flashes, Rockefeller saw fracture lines. A broken machine, one that could be rebuilt, one that could be owned. Not one refinery. The whole system. Prices. Flow. Quality. Life itself in every lamp. Amid burning homes and exploding wells, he built in silence. Systems so precise, they felt fated. As America fought to keep night at bay, Rockefeller lit a colder power. Rockefeller was never destined to rule. No silver spoon, no lineage. Son of a vanishing con man, and a mother whose faith was steel. Childhood split between neglect and discipline. Boy taught to count coins twice, trust no promise. No elite tutors. Lessons came from necessity. By his 20s, 3 traits had set like iron. Precision that tracked every drop through chaos. Calm that unnerved the frantic. Hatred of waste, as though it were sin. Entering oil in 1863, he saw not madness but sacrilege. Spilled crude, evaporated profit, discarded fractions. To others, cost of business. To him, offense demanding erasure. Rockefeller worshipped control. Luck was folly. Chance was weakness. Refineries rebuilt like operating theaters. Shadow contracts locked supplies. Equipment uniform to the fraction. Chemists wrung every drop from crude. Ledgers missed nothing. Kerosene pure enough to breed loyalty. Rivals lost 40 cents on the dollar to spills and evaporation. Rockefeller captured nearly all. Byproducts once dumped, naphtha, wax, jelly, became profit. Waste offended him. Offense demanded excision. 1870. The name appeared. Standard Oil of Ohio. Standard quality. Unvarying, mercilessly reliable. Standard prices, no more convulsions. Standard contracts, iron. Standard safety. Lamps that wouldn't become pyres. America tired of gambling with every fill. They craved certainty. Rockefeller sold it. And certainty, once tasted, becomes addiction. Rockefeller called it a moral mission. Stabilize oil. But stability meant excision. Instability had faces, competitors. He started in Cleveland, quiet as fog. Early offers felt generous to exhausted refiners, worn by risk and vanishing margins. Many sold, relief in their surrender. Others refused. Then came the colder face. When one held out, prices plunged below cost, for months if needed. Rockefeller could bleed forever. Rivals could not. This wasn't malice, it was inevitability. The strong joined the machine, the weak dissolved. Then the plan that history still whispers like a curse. 1871 to 72. Rockefeller and railroad barons birthed the South Improvement Company in secret. The blueprint was lethal elegance. Rebates poured to Standard on its shipments. Punitive rates crushed competitors. Drawbacks, kickbacks from rivals' barrels, flowed back to Rockefeller. Every rival move tracked, delivered to his desk. No partnership. Extinction engineered. If it held, independence would suffocate. The chain, from well to flame, would be his alone. No one outside knew. Until the leak. Fury erupted. Refiners rebelled. Boycotts threatened railroads. Pennsylvania streets filled with betrayed voices. Weeks later, the company died in public outrage. Yet in the chaos, few saw the truth. The scheme was acceleration, not necessity. While crowds raged, Rockefeller bought in silence. When dust settled, Cleveland's refineries were his. 1872 to 1873, the Cleveland Massacre. Months swallowed 22 of 26 rivals. Some sold gratefully. Others broke under pricing sieges. A few simply vanished, doors locked against impossible odds. No threats shouted, no force displayed. Only ledgers, contracts, calm words. We do it cheaper, safer, better. Numbers proved it. By 1873, Cleveland was no battlefield. It was territory. Silent. Absolute. Midwest refining secured. Tendrils reached out. Slow. Deliberate. Owned tank cars cut rail dependence. Standardized depots eliminated chaos. Internal networks outran public lines. The killing stroke, pipelines. Steel veins buried deep, immune to weather, strikes, greed. Costs plummeted. Oil flowed unseen. Geography bowed. Rivals begged access. He owed none. By late 1870s, Standard wasn't refining. It was infrastructure, an empire of silent flow. Borders crossed, law became obstacle. State rules clashed like jealous guards. Cross-state ownership bred mess. Subsidiaries drained life. He needed something new, vast, containing. 1882, Standard Oil Trust born. Quiet revolution in ink. Stock surrendered to trustees, Rockefeller's inner circle. Certificates promised profit, not power. Control centralized. Friction vanished. Many became one seamless beast. Borders meaningless. Nothing like it existed. The modern corporation had its skeleton. Centralized, hierarchical, unbreakable. Mid-1880s. Numbers defied belief. 90% of U.S. refining. Nearly all pipelines, rail arteries. Most storage. Export terminals feeding continents. Uniform pricing coast to coast. Hundreds of silent affiliates in lockstep. Imagine one company holding 90% of lifeblood today. Unthinkable. Illegal. Unprecedented. In 1880s, reality. Standard Oil no longer company. It was the system. Engine-devouring waste. Opposition. Rockefeller spoke rarely in public. No speeches thundered. No scandals flared. Only calm piety. Restraint. Behind, pulse of industrial America. He steered railroads' expansion. Set prices, rippling markets. Dictated standards none ignored. Factories ran on his allowance. Lamps burned because he permitted. Economy gained hidden heart. Every beat through Standard Oil. 2 decades. Standard seeped like groundwater. Silent, patient, filling every crevice until independence faded to memory. 1890s. More than mightiest corporation. Most formidable private power ever. Cohesive beyond states. Disciplined beyond federal reach. Dominance long unchallenged. Then whispers. Survivors muttered strangulation. Reporters eyed unnatural rebates. Politicians questioned one name holding essential keys. Isolated voices couldn't scar the machine. Something bigger needed. Unbuyable. Unsilenceable. A story to ignite imagination. Shaped by one who knew oil and betrayal. Ida Tarbell waited. Ida Tarbell looked nothing like a threat to empire. No power suit. No fortune. Just a journalist. Patient. Precise. Armed with memory. Her father had run a small Pennsylvania well in the 1860s to 70s. He survived the engineered crashes, the railroad favoritism, the quiet strangulation Rockefeller called progress. Tarbell saw the cost up close. Families broken, towns emptied, dreams snuffed in ledgers. Years she collected in silence. Letters, contracts, manifests, court papers, terrified whispers from ex-employees, and ruined rivals hiding behind closed doors. No drama sought, only proof. When it accumulated like weight in the dark, she let it speak. 1902, McClure's magazine opened fire with Tarbell's 19-part History of the Standard Oil Company. Forensic. Devastating. She exposed secret railroad pacts. Drawbacks bled from rival shipments. Price discrimination starving independence. Veiled threats in every buyout. Methodical refinery executions. The trust's suffocating grip. No screams, no tears. Documents, dates, numbers, receipts. Nation detonated. Papers reprinted feverishly. Politicians demanded probes. Attorneys, general reopened graves. Public rage finally matched the machine's scale. Rockefeller called her hysterical. Privately, the veil was ripped. Obscurity shattered. Machinery laid bare. Government could no longer look away. America had a law against monopolies since 1890, the Sherman Act. It sat unused. Courts flinched. Politicians feared industry's shadow. Public barely grasped the depth of embedding. Tarbell shifted the air. Suspicion hardened to fact. Awakening surged. Title, unstoppable. Roosevelt, the trust buster, saw his moment. 1906. U.S. sued Standard Oil to redefine limits. The indictment was comprehensive. Monopoly creation. Predatory pricing campaigns. Domination of transport arteries. Coercive contracts that forced surrender. Secret rebates and drawbacks. Serial acquisitions meant to extinguish competition. Interstate trade deliberately strangled. The proceedings sprawled across years, thousands of pages, hundreds of witnesses, depositions from executives, shattered independence, railroad men, economists. Standard Oil's defense rested on a single, uncomfortable truth. They had lowered prices for consumers. They had eliminated waste. They had delivered safer, more consistent kerosene. All of it factual. But the courtroom wasn't weighing results. It was weighing means. The issue was never whether kerosene became cheaper. The issue was whether the path to that cheapness had been paved with illegal exclusion. As testimony mounted, the nation followed like a serialized drama. Headlines arrived daily. Cartoons rendered Rockefeller as a vast octopus, tentacles coiling around industry, government, the public itself. The trial had become theater, and the stakes were existential. Pressure rose. Rockefeller vanished, his oldest art. Rare court appearances. Reporters dodged. Estates and charities swallowed him. Donations flooded, recasting tyrant as saint. Public still saw tentacles. Courts ignored the performance. On May 15, 1911, after 5 years of legal siege, the Supreme Court spoke. Standard Oil was an unlawful monopoly. Its scale and methods were anti-competitive by nature. Its practices coercive and exclusionary. Dissolution was ordered. The remedy was radical. The empire would fracture into 34 independent companies, divided by region and function. Names that would later echo through the century emerged from the wreckage. Standard Oil of New Jersey, Exxon. Standard Oil of New York, Mobil. Standard Oil of California, Chevron. Standard Oil of Indiana, Amoco. Standard Oil of Ohio, Sohio, later absorbed by BP. Headlines proclaimed triumph. Politicians hailed the restoration of competition. Editorials celebrated the humbling of the Colossus. Rockefeller offered no public comment. In private, however, he performed a calculation few anticipated. One that suggested the breakup might not be defeat after all. Shares prorated across 34. Rockefeller's quarter became quarters of many. Panic first, then revelation. Freed fragments sharpened, surged. Stocks climbed. Wealth doubled in a year. Richest man ever. More than unbroken. Government won court. Rockefeller won ledger. On paper, shattered. 34 names replaced one. Battle seemed over. But architecture never fell. It adapted. Dormant code in capitalism's core, spreading beyond oil. He authored operating system. Nation still runs it. Heirs became titans. Exxon, Mobil, Chevron. Inherited networks, efficiencies, scale culture. Influence far beyond petroleum. Controlled every link, from well to wick. Today, tech owns device to cloud. Retail owns warehouse to brand. Energy owns drill to pump. Own the chain, own the market. Rockefeller rarely competed head-on. He consumed. Quietly, methodically. From the 1870s forward, Standard Oil absorbed over 100 firms outright and bent countless others to its gravity. Chaos became consolidation. The practice is now doctrine. Tech platforms swallow promising startups before they mature. Pharma houses engulf smaller laboratories. Telecom giants merge to erase redundancy. Banks consolidate in downturns to fortify dominance. Whenever a corporation acquires to neutralize threat, secure control, or invade new territory, it replays Rockefeller's quiet strategy, and many sectors now mirrored the concentration he achieved in oil by 1884. Once, oil fueled civilization. Now another resource reigns: data. Yet the underlying mechanics echo across time. Collect the raw, crude user behavior. Refine it. Algorithms, profiles. Transport it. Infrastructure, clouds. Monetize it. Targeted ads, predictive tools, AI. The commodity has changed. The tools have advanced. The philosophy remains pure Standard Oil. Industries far removed from barrels still carry his imprint. 1. Logistics. His pipelines prefigured optimized distribution grids long before digital warehouses. 2. Finance. Standard Oil functioned as an early private equity machine, acquiring, restructuring, extracting maximum yield. 3. Public relations. His late-life philanthropy set the template. Transform raw power into perceived benevolence. 4. Accounting and operations. Standardized systems still studied in business schools trace back to his ledgers. 5. Antitrust law. Modern competition rules were forged in the effort to contain what he had built. The true astonishment lies not in the survival of his companies, but in how profoundly his principles embedded themselves. The pillars stand firm. Pillar 1. Efficiency as sacred imperative. Waste eradicated without mercy. Pillar 2. Scale as unassailable advantage. The larger the entity, the more invincible. Pillar 3. Infrastructure as the true weapon. Pipelines then, clouds, and networks now. Pillar 4. Conceal the mechanism. Operate behind veils of subsidiaries and silence. Pillar 5. Endure beyond lifetimes. The long game measured in generations. In any major city today, the vibration is unmistakable. Corporations wielding coordination and reach that would draw a nod of recognition from Rockefeller. They shape legislation. They orchestrate global flows. They determine what is seen, purchased, believed. Knowingly or not, they follow the same playbook. Dominate the arteries. Absorb threats. Outpace regulators. Expand into every adjacent domain. Control the channels. Craft the story. Become essential. The surface changes. The system endures. The 1911 dissolution was meant as democracy's decisive triumph, a declaration that no entity could eclipse the public will. What it truly accomplished: it dismantled one name. It preserved the architecture. Standard Oil did not perish. It propagated. Its offspring became leviathans. Its methods became orthodoxy. Its worldview became the bedrock of contemporary capitalism. The breakup offered symbolic satisfaction. The legacy delivered structural supremacy. In his later years, Rockefeller withdrew deeper into philanthropy. Universities, hospitals, missions, research. He lived to witness the splintered companies flourish beyond imagination. His fortune swelled to heights previously unthinkable. He observed the world shift from lamps to engines, chemicals, plastics, vast energy webs, all built on foundations he had laid. And he lived long enough to understand, in perfect silence, that despite every investigation, every expose, every legal assault. His creation had not merely survived. It had become the architecture of the age. It had become America. Most never saw Standard Oil's refineries, never read secret contracts, traced rebates, walked among tanks scarring land. Yet live in world molded by that vision. Every expansion into new territory, every quiet acquisition, every global supply chain, every unchallengeable platform. That is Standard Oil's shadow. Rockefeller's hand. History calls him monopolist, titan, ruthless. His deepest mark, subtler, structural. Showed corporation can transcend business, become infrastructure, become governing system. If this pulled back the curtain on hidden power and you want these patterns unpacked, hit like if it landed. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. It helps more than you know. Keeps us digging into systems shaping everything. Standard Oil vanished in name. Its ghost course's modern economy. Quiet corporation that assumed control of America. And in most ways, that matter. Never let go.